Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new episode of the Sports Insight with your host Alamdar Khan. And as you all know, it's all about sports that we talk about. And not to forget that you guys can surely reach us on our social media handles, which is at the rate of Indus News Sports. That would be both for Twitter and Instagram. And with regards to that, if you reach out to us, that would make a more interactive show. So surely do that. And let's go to the headlines to begin with. Yes, Pakistan team T20 for the T20 has actually been announced. The squad has been announced, and it's going to be a very tricky situation to discuss. And yes, NBA. In the world of NBA, Lakers won against the Celtics with a nail-biting match. We'll be talking about that. Yes, Barcelona is planning on suing El Mundo, a magazine that actually has published details of Messi's contract. And yes, from the world of Premier League, Chelsea actually manages to score 2 goals against Burnley. We'll be talking about that. And yes, from the world of golf, Paul Casey wins the 15th European title on Sunday. All right, yes, those were the headlines, and we'll definitely be talking about the squad that has been announced, Pakistan versus South Africa. Yes, Pakistan did announce the squad, and the most tricky part right now is Mohammad Hafiz not being on the squad because of the bio-bubble situation. And not to forget that Mohammad Hafiz is the person who actually is one of the top priority batsmen for our team. In the past 12 T20 international matches, he has managed to score 502 runs. Not only that, his strike rate is super high. To discuss all of this matter, of course, Pakistan versus South Africa, we have our former legendary cricketer with us, Shoaib Mohammed, sir. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure.
Great, sir. So, sir, we've seen the test match. Of course, we'll get to the test match afterwards. But right now, the focal point, and everybody's talking about the squad that is being announced, and that has actually been announced by the chief selector with regards to the entire team for the T20s that will be in Lahore. Mohammad Hafiz obviously not being in Pakistan right now, and yes, he did mention from what we've heard so far that he said that he can come back on the 4th. However, everybody is going into the bio bubble by the 3rd. So what's your take on this entire T20 squad that has been announced?
Sure is a tragedy of Hafiz not being in the squad. But there are quite a few things to be noted, as he had taken that NOC from the PCB by themselves. Right. And once the NOC was given, naturally you got to see the track record of a player, what sort of player he had been over the past number of years. Right. Hafiz had played with dignity, pride, honesty, and so many things had been attached with him in that respect. He had been pretty disciplined, not like other boys, mischievous one who are among the highlights every now and then in the headlines. I don't want to name them, but there are quite a few ones. Right. But where Hafiz is concerned, he had always, been a true Pakistani. In the sense he had captained the side, and at the same time he had been performing on top of everyone, really, in the sense, as you mentioned, that he had been among the top scorers in the last year as well, and all the T20 games for Pakistan. Right. So one got to see the track record I was saying earlier, that once the NOC was given to him, naturally he went, and on top of that even, he was getting match practice. Now, it wasn't a leisure trip of he being in Dubai and having a ball and just enjoying the time. He was playing cricket, and just a mere 1 day difference. Right. And again, I would say once the date was given to him that he would be, of course, those dates of T10 tournament, what he has he's been playing in UAE. Right. That was already prescribed in black and white when the NOC was given. So why out of the blue they had come up with this great idea of calling him a day before? Right. Now, my point is, he signed a contract to play in UAE.
Right.
So, a player of repute, once he signs a contract, would it be a fair deal that he opts out in the middle of a tournament or even at the last leg of the tour? No,
Definitely not, yes.
because he had, of course, he had signed it. He had been paid for it,
Right.
so he has to stick to his words.
Right.
That's what my point is, that he has to, had it been the other way around,
Right.
naturally he would have not gone for these league cricket tournaments. He has left quite a few tournaments for Pakistan to play for Pakistan.
True.
And now some of the corners, people had been saying that it's all because of his minting money out there, and he had gone given preference to these league cricket and not to Pakistan. It is absolutely pathetic, I would say,
Right.
that he had been considered as a player who had gone for money.
Right.
He has shown us
sir?
so many.
Yes.
Sorry?
Sir, I was saying who exactly, like you said, that, if we look at the ethical side of it, obviously being a sportsman, signing a contract, not going on a leisure trip, and obviously having it black and white as an NOC, and everything was sorted to PCB, then why would they take this such a drastic decision only by mere one day?
Well, if you dig deep, then I would say probably they want to see the backside of Hafiz. But it was not, that chance was not given to the PCB or the selectors by Hafiz, in the sense he had been among the run getters.
Right.
And for that matter, that he had been part and parcel of the Pakistan cricket team in T20 games for a number of matches lately, and scoring with a reasonable average in T20 games.
Absolutely.
So they just wanted to see the backside of opting out and not giving a chance to Hafiz in these T20 games. But like I said, he had performed well, and it was too difficult for them to get their blue-eyed boys into the team.
Right.
And now, had it been Babar Azam, my question to you is,
Right.
had it been Babar Azam, would you think PCB would have opted someone else for Babar? No, definitely not. They would have changed their policies or whatever. And I want to mention one more thing here, that he's already in a bubble. It's not that in UAE you have... you are
Obviously,
not in a biosecure bubble.
Absolutely, he'd been there.
He's already been into it as well. And at the same time, once he gets back, you can always check him within maybe 2 days, 3 days.
Right.
So that's the thing. He's already given a consent that, of course, that he would opt for a test.
Right.
COVID test,
Right.
and once that gets affirmative, positive, then of course he can join the team.
Right.
And so these lame excuses of just putting him and putting him in a corner
Right.
doesn't make sense to me. It's such a pity that Pakistan Cricket Board comes up with these such great ideas of they don't know how to handle great players and respect them, to be very honest.
So to be honest, if
the
this
list
happens,
the list would go on. You can name from right to the top of, like Javed Miazad Saab, may it be Zahir Abbas Saab, and so many others.
Right.
It's a pity that the cricket board has not been sort of a true companion or the
They should be the ones. They should be the ones
dignity what
supporting.
they deserve.
They should be the ones that should actually be supporting the boys, rather than creating these environments. Like as
That's
you
what
mentioned.
I believe. Absolutely,
Yes.
that's what my point of view is.
Absolutely, sir. The whole thing is that with an average of 100 and with a strike rate of 153, like I said, he scored like 502 runs. He obviously is one of the performers, and like you said, that he's not one of those boys who would be making up to the headlines and stuff. Do you think they will be reconsidering this decision or no?
For the time being, I reckon it is. I don't see him getting into the side once they have
Announced.
said no to him.
Right, right.
So, and I don't know how he's gonna react or behave, or maybe he'll come out with a statement or not. I have no idea.
Right.
But this is, had I been in his shoes,
Right.
this is what I would have felt. What I just mentioned earlier.
Right. So what we'll do is we'll take a quick break, and once we return from the break, we'll continue this discussion in regards to the new team that has been announced. See you guys after the break. And welcome back from the break. And yes, we were discussing Pakistan versus South Africa, the T20 squad that has been announced. And obviously, the issue is still out there that Mohammad Hafiz will not be able to be on board with the team. And with me, obviously, is our legendary cricketer, Shoaib Mohammad, is still with us. So we'll switch to words. Obviously, thanks for the wisdom that you've added with regards to the whole situation that has been talked about lately, that unfortunately Mohammad Hafiz cannot be on the team and is not on board, and there are a few aspects that you've discussed earlier. But let's talk about the first test match that happened in Karachi. So how do you see the performance of the team itself, because it was something very unique with regards to how Pakistan started the journey, because firstly, all out, 220 all out South Africans. Then Pakistan manages to have like instant fall of wickets, 33 for 4. But eventually, that was day one. And from that day one, we moved into a completely different transformational journey as a team. How did you see the whole team perform this time?
Well, firstly, I want to congratulate the Pakistan cricket team and their players for excellent performance.
Right.
But although it was a narrow escape, I would say, had they given 140 odd runs target, things could have been different. But anyways, great performance by Fawad Alam and the rest of the team.
Right.
Noman especially playing the first test match and getting away with 5 wickets all in the second innings.
Right.
Was something great and treat to watch.
Absolutely.
But on the larger scene, it was a great sight to see an international team coming to Pakistan, and not to take anything away from the Zimbabweans or the Sri Lankans who had visited Pakistan,
Right.
but teams like the big guns like Australia, England, South Africa, these are the big ones. So.
Right.
They coming over to Pakistan, it's a very good sign. It would go a long way for the younger generation
Right.
to promote the game of cricket within Pakistan, and I'm sure this tour would definitely have great benefits for the game, and like I said, for the youngsters.
Absolutely.
Who are
Absolutely.
thinking on those lines, whether to opt for cricket or anything else.
Right.
So definitely cricket would be the priority, I'm sure, from now onward.
Absolutely, sir. And the good part is, not only that, we even had this news coming in with regards to even more teams planning on coming to Pakistan. But yes, as you mentioned before, that like the big guns that you've talked about, we even have heard about a few stories with regards to England planning on coming on maybe having a visit, a tour to Pakistan. But that's something that would eventually make the country as a nation grow as well, and I think it's a brilliant perspective with regards to that. How do you see, sir, the new boys that have actually come on board, as you said, that with regards to the bowling, with regards to the fielding, from the start of the match, you have seen, if that's how I saw it, because there was a complete sense of positivity in the entire team, which was actually lacking. If you remember, we've talked about Pakistan versus New Zealand and the tour that they were on. So how do you see, was it seriously that the changes that were needed, or was it the coronavirus perspective, was it the quarantine, was it the bio bubble that kind of broke them down back then?
Two major things was there. The number one was they playing within their backyard,
Right.
in Pakistan,
Right.
and at the same time, the New Zealand tour helped them getting them back into the nick and being at the right mental frame of mind. That had brought although they couldn't win the series in New Zealand,
Right.
but playing cricket all throughout and coming to Pakistan and again getting into a test match,
Right.
that really helped. And of course, everyone boosted them that they were playing in Pakistan for the first time. Most of the players were playing for the first time
Right.
against a big team, and like Noman emerged out as a superstar for Pakistan.
Absolutely.
But again, like many people say, the cricket has changed, or those sort of things.
Right.
But come to think of it, this is the beautiful left arm leg spinner with a loop in his bowling action,
Right.
and bowling those deliveries and getting away with wickets. That was the beauty of it, and he emerged out, like I said, with a 5-wicket haul.
Right.
And Fawad Alam playing first time in Pakistan
Right.
against such teams, and getting away with a brilliant century.
Absolutely.
Overall, it was a combined team effort.
True.
And South African side probably had no answer to our bowling, to be very honest.
But sir, that was the first test. Obviously, now they have a bit of more experience with Pakistan, the ground, the conditions, the pitch.
Yeah.
The second match, which is the second test, which is going to be soon, starting of February. How do you see that? Because this time, South Africans will definitely be coming up with a strategy with the bowling side. Even with Rabada and a few bowlers, they were phenomenal. But because if you see the trickle-down effect that we always have with the top order batsmen, that is still a problem for Pakistan. We've always seen the middle order taking care of it, or somehow they're managing the team when it's going to that fall. Do you think this time South Africa will come up with that strategy to ensure that, because first test is done, now they know the field, now they know the entire environment and the situation. How do you see South African planning on for the next test?
The thing is, although they have gone to play the second test in Punjab,
Right.
weather-wise things are different than
Right.
Karachi.
Right.
But again, if you make an under-prepared wicket with low bounce, and supposedly it would be a turning track most likely. That's what I had said in my earlier interviews. At the same
Right.
time, Pakistan has the best chance of getting away, and winning a series against South Africa would be getting those turning tracks made.
Right.
So that was the thing, and that helped them. And although it wasn't a very high-scoring game, but on these sort of pitches and wickets, 250 odd runs is a reasonably good target. But again, I've played in Pindi also.
Right.
But I still reckon they would prepare a very underprepared wicket with giving less water to it before the test match, and eventually, if our bowlers perform well and batsmen at the same time stick to their true potential, then Pakistan can get away with a series win.
Right. So one more important thing with regards to obviously the pitch as well, the top order batsman. That is, like you said, we still have that edge of the bowling side. But sir, how do you see the top order batsmen having still not been able to take the team to that sustainability level? How do you see that changing this time when they get ready for the second test?
The thing is, second test, the jitteriness of a first test game is all over now.
Right.
So it's always difficult to get into the first day of the first test match.
Right.
But things, you take it from there onwards.
Right.
But now coming into the second test match, our players would be more comfortable. And if there might be a change or two in the squad, because it's a different territory, different soil they'll be facing. So if they have any changes, then of course, but all said and done, Pakistan has a better chance. Pakistan youngsters, they want to prove themselves what metal they are made of, and no wonder these youngsters, even in all over the world, they want to make a mark for themselves, and they have emerged out as clear-cut winners at the same time. If you see the Indian-Australian series also.
Right.
So youngsters are making their imprint pretty fast, and I'm sure whoever gets a chance, you got to occupy the crease for longer to get into the game and make a mark for your team and win it, basically. This is what my thinking is.
Right, sir. Anyways, all I would suggest is definitely good luck from your side and my side to
Absolutely.
the team as well, sir. Thank you so very much.
Thank
for
you
getting
so
on board
much.
with us,
Thank
sir.
you.
Take good care
All
of
the
yourself.
best.
Pleasure.
Take care.
So basically, we've been discussing the whole perspective, or not only of the T20 squad that we've talked about, and not only that, there still has been issues with regards to the bio bubble situation and Mohammad Hafiz not being on board, and Shoaib Mohammad actually managed to give his side of the wisdom with regards to that. And in the end, obviously, he did mention about the upcoming test performance that's actually going to happen in Rawalpindi, different conditions, different situations for the entire team. So hopefully, we hope for an interesting match, which is surely going to create more of the situation, because the confidence levels of Pakistan cricket team right now is still higher with regards to the South African side. The South African side actually has to plan and devise a strategy on the spinners end, to be precise, that could really help them move ahead. But anyways, that was from the world of cricket. We'll just switch over to the next news that we've discussed earlier in the headlines. Yes, let's go to NBA. So on Saturday, there was this interesting match that actually took place. It's Celtics versus Lakers, one of the most interesting hardcore rivalry match that took place. And it was an absolute narrow escape from the Lakers to win that match 96-95. Not to forget that there was this one shot that Walker actually managed to miss, which was on the last 2 seconds when the shot was taken and the shot was missed, and the match was over. If the shot had gone in, it would have definitely the opposite side. But it was a 96-95 nail-biting event, and I'm sure all those NBA fans out there would have surely loved it. Not to forget that Lakers still are the former champions, and their rivalry go a very long way. But that was from the world of NBA. Now let's switch over to an interesting perspective of Premier League. Yes, about Premier League, Barcelona is ready to sue this Spanish newspaper for publishing Lionel Messi's contract. Yes, El Mundo is the name of the newspaper that has actually claimed that Messi signed the largest deal, which was for 138 million pounds, and they actually managed to publish the entire contract over 4 years, the entire season, which makes it around 492 million over and literally up to 555 million, which is a huge amount, and they really want to sue the publication. And obviously they're denying it for now, but the point is the damage has already been done, because with regards to Barcelona itself, they've been talking about the situation, the downfall of the financial perspective to it. But anyways, cutting the story short, this was from Barcelona's end. Let's go to the next story, which is another Chelsea's victory against Burnley. Yes, that was 2-0 victory on Sunday, and that really happened as Thomas Tuchel actually registered his first appearance as the main manager, the main coach. So that is something that is a new news with regards to Chelsea's victory after a very long time, even though they did win the last time as well. But now, as the manager has changed, the strategy has changed, and they have managed to score up, and their ranking on the Premier League's chart has actually gone up. So good luck to Chelsea for their upcoming events. Now switching over towards golf side. Yes, Paul Casey wins the 15th European Tour title on Sunday, and this actually happened on Omega Dubai Desert Classic. And he basically mixed 5 birdies with 3 bogeys during his final round. And pretty much golf is yet again another interesting story, but not to forget that he definitely has a good track record when it comes to his performance as a golfer. But anyways, this was from the world of sports. I think we've taken care of pretty everything. You guys can reach us on our social media pages, which is @Indus News Sports. Till then, take good care of yourself, and bye-bye.